Of course, in valuing a personal injury case, you have to look at the injuries and the damages, and that can get somewhat complicated, especially in Alabama. One way that people are trying cases now, especially where health insurance is involved and they've paid the bills, is not even admitting the bills into evidence before the jury. The problem with the way insurance works nowadays is if you have a $10,000 hospital bill in Blue Cross insurance, Blue Cross may only pay $2,000 of that $10,000 hospital bill. So the defendant can ask the plaintiff if the hospital bills were paid, and if the plaintiff says yes, a jury's sitting there wondering, well, why are you here if your hospital bill's been paid? It used to be that wasn't the case. It was called the collateral source rule, and because of the collateral source rule, the defendant couldn't ask you if you had health insurance. By the same token, we can't ask in a car wreck case whether the defendant has liability insurance. But now, the way our courts have ruled, the defendant can ask if our client has health insurance and whether the bill's been paid, but we still cannot ask whether or not they have car insurance. I know that sounds kind of odd, but that's the way our evidence rules work. So we have to look at whether or not the bills are substantial enough and whether or not insurance paid a substantial amount of money as to whether or not we want to admit the bills into evidence, and that can affect the value of the case. If Blue Cross paid $2,000 and that's all we can put into evidence, you're not going to look at a higher verdict unless there's been substantial medical treatment such as surgery or catastrophic injury. In any event, that is one thing that we also look at when we talk about valuing a case, and that is the medical expenses, the type of treatment that was rendered, and what insurance has paid for those medical bills. If you have questions about your case, your medical bills, anything of that nature, give us a call at 254-6060 and we'd be glad to answer your questions. Thanks.